When I'm watching a series, I want over the top moments. I need to see the hero do a spectacular move, the villain give a monumental speech. I want a climactic romantic scene on a rolling hilltop overlooking a Nagoya sunset, while cicadas make that annoying as fuck sound. That's the point of entertainment, to enhance real life. Reading Brutal, it does all of that, and so much more. But it's a hard story to stomach, that's for sure. Written by Ki Koga and drawn by Ryo Izawa, Brutal follows Hiroki Dan, a young, handsome, and talented police detective assigned to the homicide department. He exacts an interesting brand of justice, however, where he brutally murders his victims. He calls these good deeds, takes their picture, and cremates them. So we have Japanese Dexter. Super interesting, yeah? Instead of creepy Florida men and monster of the week, we have creepy Japanese men and kaiju of the week. This is actually a spin-off to another manga from the author called Trace, which is a forensic science manga. So you can kind of see where the influences lie within these works. Each chapter of Brutal is set up like a case, where the victims and perps are the main focal point, and Detective Dan isn't even the main character of this series. He really does take a back seat during most cases and only gets involved when it's time to kill. Most of the time, we get a great backstory on how this crime happened and how deplorable the criminals are. A lot of ground is covered in Brutal: date rape culture, spousal abuse, revenge rape, extramarital affairs, Japan's many issues with homeless abuse, systematic oppression, illegitimate children, and plenty of other heavy topics. Even the more fascinating characters in this series are all pieces of shit. Early on, we meet a group of young college kids that are part of this weird frat cult club thing where they pick up other uni girls and they take advantage of them. The fact that so many of the lines, mottos, and attitudes of the characters during this arc reflect those in real life that seek out alpha networks to become high-valued men was cringeworthy. But I'm not that far removed from post-secondary school, and I've seen this way of thinking rise over the years. So it was haunting to see it done in a manga and done so accurately. Later on, we encounter a reporter who is so obsessed with his career, he's unable to draw the line between journalistic integrity and parental negligence. When Dan gets involved, he doesn't actually contribute to the downfall of this particular character. We see that unraveling happen long before he even arrives. Another character has a public persona of being a great parent, partner, and a leader in the community, but turns out to actually be very manipulative, a hypocrite, and an S-tier abuser that would make remarks that would make Long Beach Griffey cringe in discomfort. And that's what I feel are the high marks of this manga. Each case and villain really does stand out. The main character and the rest of the police force are purposefully pushed to the background so we can focus on the admittedly more interesting characters, who all happen to be the evil bastards. Showing just how far some of these people will go to cover up their crimes or how destructive they can be when left unchecked is so horrifying. I actually got sick while reading a few times and had to take a few minutes to catch myself with how grim some of these moments are. Even Dan, who is the closest thing we have to a hero in this series, is a senseless murderer who kills just for the sake of it. The gags the author inserts to add some personality to him are so corny, cause he really is only interesting when he sets up a saw-like torture piece for the victim. Every bad character gets their comeuppance, but sometimes you're left wondering if Dan is right. If a criminal commits a heinous crime, they should be punished. But getting murdered in the mountains is not justice, that's self-satisfaction. I'd say half of these cases so far, these crims should have been put on trial to answer for their crimes, but seeing Dan kill each one of them and never have any of his coworkers suspect him does bring the series down a bit in my eyes. I like Brutal a lot. It was a lot more, well, brutal than I expected it to be. If you can stomach extreme moments of torture, violent depictions of self-harm, rape, abuse, infanticide, and media collusion, then this is a manga for you. It really is just an edgy Dexter with a sprinkle of SVU tension, but there is some charm here. The artwork is very clean and enjoyable. The story, while repetitive at times, always keeps you interested. The procedural pacing is actually done very well and makes me want to see how much further the mangaka can take this series. I want to get more background on the main character, without him coming to the forefront and eclipsing the gritty villains. I give this manga a 6 out of 10.